right, so we're going to take a slightly different starting point than how I'd initially wanted to start, but that's okay. When Laura comes back, we will all stand up and we're going to start by just opening up the bottoms of our feet. Then we'll lay back down and start with what I had initially thought we were going to do, and we'll move forward from there. All right, so let's go ahead and stand up. And again, we've got a whole slew of props today. We've got balls, we've got straps, we've got our normal blocks, our normal blankets, we've got an envelope or a credit card, and we've got therabands. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, can I see your water bottle, Laura? Okay, that should work. All right. The first thing that we're going to do, and if it doesn't, we can try something else, is we're going to either take our ball, or if you're using a water bottle or something that's cylindrical, you're just going to take one foot and plant it on that prop and just roll your foot back and forth. We're just rolling your foot. I wonder if I need to scoot up so you guys can see that. No, that's too close. Okay, we're just rolling it back and forth, trying to wake up the foot. All right, and those of you that are actually using a ball, you're going to bring the ball under the ball of your foot. You're going to wrap your toes around the ball. And you're going to see if you can try to wrap your big toe down and your pinky toe down. And then you're going to roll a little right to left. And then you might shift your weight forward just a little bit. And again, big toe down, pinky toe down. We're trying to find space across the top of our feet by creating compression on the bottom of our feet. And you might slide it down a little bit more. So now it's closer to your arch. And again, trying to get your toes to go around the ball. And then you're going to eventually slide it so it's now in front of your heel. And you're just going to push down like you've got nice little high heel that you're digging your heel into. And again, you might roll a little right from left. Okay. And then all the way down. Go ahead and step off and see if you notice anything different between your feet, how they feel, and that such. Okay, let's go ahead and try it on the other side. So again, you're just going to roll. Laura, you're just going to go forward and back. And you might notice that you can go to the outer edge of your foot on that bottle. You can also invert and come to the inner edge. It's a slightly different set of actions. So those of you that are on the ball, again, see if you can wrap your toes around the ball on the inside and the outside. And you're slowly going to start to inch the ball back towards your heel. And again, you're actively working your toes, inner and outer edge of the foot towards the floor. Okay, no, I think probably we're right above, right in front of our heel. Oh, you might hear something pop. That's fun. And you'll eventually get to your heel and just do a slight pressure down. Awesome. All right. And go ahead and come off of that and just notice how both of your feet feel. And all of you are now going to lie down on your backs. When you lie down on your backs, make sure the strap is somewhere near you. Make sure if you're using a ball, you also have that somewhere near you. So lie down on your backs. Roberta and Erica, you're frozen. There we go. And when you find yourself on your back, go ahead and bend your knees and plant your feet on the floor. So my knee people, this is all for you. We'll see how this works as we start to move through the process. So once you find yourself on your back, I want you to just take a couple of minutes to find a neutral spine. So you're finally settling into the body. You're settling into the breath. We're settling into the practice. So just notice what it feels like. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor, arms are maybe on the body or off the body, but see if you can find the natural curves of your body, of your spine more specifically. And then at the end of your next exhalation, let's go ahead and draw our right knee into our chest. And you can hold on to the right shin, you can hold on to the back of the right thigh, hamstring area, whatever works for you. And I want you to just point and flex your foot now. And just notice what it feels like to find dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So plantar flexion is when you're pointing the foot, dorsiflexion is when you're flexing the foot. And after you've done a few of those, you'll start to maybe circle that ankle and just feel how that feels. Okay, and then go the other direction. And make sure your opposite knee is bent. So if your right knee is into your chest, the left foot is on the floor. And the reason I want you to do that is pay attention to what's happening in your left big toe. How does pressing into the left big toe impact what's happening in your pelvis, especially on the left side? Great. Let's go ahead and come to stillness here. Bring your hands to the back of your thigh, or if you need to wrap a strap around the back of your thigh, you do that. And then you'll inhale and kick your foot up towards the sky. And you'll exhale and bend the knee and draw the thigh into the chest. And you've got about 5 more of these. And you're just paying attention to what it feels like to bend and straighten that leg. See if you can fully flex through the heel when you kick the foot up and fully point through the toes when you bend the knee down. Okay, so we'll do about 1 or 2 more. You're just breathing with this in and out. Inhale to straighten the leg and exhale to bend the knee. The next time your leg is up, go ahead and pause there. Really kick through that right heel. Check in with your left foot. Is the big toe and the pinky toe mound evenly rooted onto the floor, and can you press into it? Notice how that allows you to internally rotate the thigh a bit, and notice how that thigh drops into your pelvis. Fantastic. From here, let's open our arms off of the body and continue to kick up through that right heel. Now, externally rotate your right leg. So turn your right toes out to the right. Keep your right leg super long and straight and up and in front of you. On your next in-breath, reach that foot so far forward, it comes to the floor. So far up and forward, it comes to the floor. And I want you to exhale and lift your right thigh so your right thigh is parallel to your left thigh. Yeah. And then inhale, lower down. You're going to do about 15 of these. And you inhale to go down and you exhale to come up. And you're just paying attention what's happening in your left foot. You continue to press through the left big toe mound so that we are working our vastus medialis. That's the inner muscle of your right leg. And for our knee people, according to Mary Richards, this is your best friend. Oh, thank you, Steve. And we're trying to go to fatigue, which is why I gave you 15. If you're like, Jessica, I'm already tired and I haven't gotten to 15, keep going. All right, we'll do about another 5. Another 5. And you're just breathing in and out. And the slower you can make this, the more muscle tissue you're building. And Julie, we're only going to the height of our other leg. So we're not going all the way to 90. It's just parallel to our left thigh. There we go, Sandy. All right, the next time you lift that leg, you're gonna pause. So your legs are now, your thighs are parallel. Kick out through your right heel. You got it, Sandy. Push down into your right big toe mound. Really hug all the muscles around the bone and see if you can breathe for 3. See if you can lift your thigh a little bit, Robin, for 2. your right thigh for 1. On your next in-breath, lift the right thigh all the way up, parallel to the sky. Fantastic. Now go ahead and bend that knee, hug the knee into your chest, extend the left leg long on the floor beneath you, and just take a moment to find a nice stretch across the front of your left hip. On your next exhale, gently bend the left knee, plant the left foot on the floor, and release the right foot next to the left. Take a moment to check in on your back. How do the backs of the hips feel? The backs of the shoulders feel? How does the inner right thigh feel? Next exhale, draw your left knee into your chest. Interlace hands on the front of the shin or the back of the thigh, whatever feels best to you. And again, you're just going to point and flex that foot. And you're just feeling what this feels like. Can you really articulate through your foot? So we spend a lot of time doing these big, gross things. And by gross, I don't mean ugly, I mean just big. But we don't pay a lot of attention to our foundation. Our feet are our foundation. And sometimes the things that we don't really notice, they really have a big impact. And start to make circles. And you'll take about 5 circles in one direction. And the right leg is on the floor. Awesome. And then let's go ahead and pause. Everybody make sure your right heel is in line with your right sit bone. So make sure it's not crossing the body. Yep, Julie, walk your right foot a little bit to the right. There we go. Awesome. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come to stillness with those ankle circles. Bring your hands to the back of your left thigh. Maybe bring a strap across the back of your left thigh. And then inhale, reach your foot up towards the sky, flex through the heel. And then exhale, bend the knee, draw the thigh towards the chest. Yep. And you've got about 5 more of these. And you're just focusing on your breath. The inhale is what straightens the leg. The exhale is what bends the knee. And as you're doing these repetitions, you're working to go through your full range of motion. Nice articulation there, Barbara. Yeah, good work there, Robin. Robin, keep reaching out through your left heel when you get all the way to the top. Awesome. Let's do 2 more. I'm sorry, Roberta, I'm really not counting. The next time that leg goes up, go ahead and stay there. Hands are behind the back of your left thigh. Reach up through your left heel and just take a couple of breaths here. Long, steady breaths. Active left leg. From here, let's go ahead and press into your big toe mound of the right foot. Release your arms. Externally rotate that left leg so your toes are pointing out towards the left. And then as you inhale, reach the foot up, forward, and down towards the floor. And then as you exhale, you'll just lift that left thigh parallel to your right thigh. So knee to knee, it doesn't go any higher than that. And you've got about 15 of these or until fatigue. And again, you're paying attention to your right big toe. Barbara, press more into, your right hip. So we want to, there we go. We want to make sure our hips stay pretty parallel to each other. And then our knees come up as though they're going to kiss. That's good there, Robin. And we want, Laura, turn your foot out a little bit more. We need vastus medialis to work. There you go. So we should feel this all along that inner muscle of your left thigh. Yep, Julie, from your knee up towards your hip. That's one of your quadriceps, and we're trying to strengthen that muscle. And the more you flex through your left foot and push out through your left foot, you'll find that that intensifies the stretch. Additionally, the more you're able to externally rotate your leg, because then it makes that quadricep work on its own. And of course, I'm not counting, so I'm going to say you have 5 more. And you're just breathing. We're going to fatigue. We're breathing. We're moving slowly. Fantastic. We'll say this next one, hold your thighs parallel to each other. So left knee, right knee in line. Kick out through your left heel, push down into your right big toe. Keep your hips parallel and you just pause and you breathe. There you go, Barbara. Pause and you breathe. Next in breath, lift that leg a little higher, all the way back up to 90. And then exhale, internally rotate the leg, bend the knee, draw the knee to the chest, extend the right leg long, and just take a moment to pause and breathe. And you just pause and you breathe and you feel what that feels like. Great. Gently bend the right knee, plant the right foot on the floor, release the left foot right next to the right. Cool. Now for this one, I want you to make sure your feet are directly underneath your knees. So you might need to walk your feet back a little bit. You can put your hands wherever you want. And I'm sorry, I did not mention this earlier. Make sure you have a block. Grab one of your blocks and slide it between your inner upper thighs. Great. Cool. So we are not going for height on this. We're going for engagement. So the first thing I want you to do is really push your feet into the floor. Feel your feet pushing down into the floor. Okay. And then I want you to squeeze that block. And then you're going to lift your hips 10 times. So you inhale to lift your butt up, and you exhale and lower it down. I don't care how high your butt gets off the ground. I care more about how much you're engaging your hamstrings and your glutes. So Mary Richards was talking about how we can leverage weight on our knees, and this is to try to help us strengthen our knees by strengthening our hips. So we're working on building around the concavity of the joints, specifically the knee joint. And I'm making you load your bodies as you're doing this. And we're doing the repetitions with breath. So you inhale to lift your tuchus, you exhale to put your butt back down. And we're doing 10 of these. And you're just starting to feel that you keep pushing your feet down into the floor. You keep squeezing that block. Okay, we'll do about 3 more. Awesome. The next time your butt comes down, keep it there. Lift all 10 toes off the floor. All 10 toes. Keep pressing into the ball of your foot and the heel of your foot. And then you got another 10 more. So Steve, keep pushing down into the ball of your foot. Just your toes lift off, nothing more. There you go. And you got 10 of these. And so you should suddenly feel a different part of your butt come online when you do this. Turns out most of our butts are really weak. So hello, butts. We're going to find you today. Sandy, lift your toes up a little bit more. There we go. Da da da. Nice work there, Julie. Nice control there, Laura. Roberta, squeeze evenly as you come up. Notice that one of your legs wants to work a little. Ah, there you go. A little more than the other one. All right. I obviously wasn't counting, so we'll do about 2 more. Julie, press more into your left pinky toe ball. There we go. Aha, there you go. Next time your butt comes down, keep your butt down. All right. I hope your butts are feeling stuff now. Lower your toes to the floor. Lift your heels off the floor. Aha, squeeze your block. All right, 10 more. Keep going. Inhale up and exhale down. Notice where the muscle has changed. So now we are lifting our butt and we're keeping our heels lifted. And you just are doing as many as you want to. We're going for fatigue, but you know, form is better. And you're inhaling up and you're exhaling down. So the focus on the breath is to allow us to slow down just a little bit so we can feel what's happening in our body as we do this. The impetus to focus on foundation is because it's often the thing that has the most impact, but we sometimes push past it. Okay, let's do about 3 more. Sandy, push into your left big toe more for me, please. Yeah, so the inside edge of your leg works. Cool. After you've done this last one, you'll go ahead and lower your butt down. You'll release your block and you'll take a moment to pause and just notice, where do you feel a lot of heat and energy in the body? Cool. Here's our little momentary reprieve. Go ahead and draw your right knee into your chest. Some of you will slide your right strap behind the back of your right thigh. Some of you will slide the ball in between your right thigh and your right calf. You're drawing the strap up behind the back of the knee crease. If you're putting the ball there, you're putting it in the knee crease. And you're just going to let your heel flop to the floor. Let your heel flop to the floor. You pull on the strap. And you're just going to bounce your foot a couple times towards your butt. So cool. That's clear as mud. Let's pause, roll over, come up to sit. All right. So this is our release for all the work that we've done. The strap is here and you're just bobbling your foot. Some of you might choose to put the ball there and bobble your foot. The ball adds a bit of pressure and it releases the calf. So those of you that had calf stuff might want to try the ball instead. All right, give it a shot. Whichever option you're taking, and you just bobble, 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 bobble. And they're slow and they're easy and they're floppy and they're messy. They're not pretty at all. There we go. And then you'll gently release your bobbling. Release your strap or the ball. Take a moment to notice whatever you notice between the sides. And then get ready to try the other side. So either the ball or the strap, and you just flop your foot. Flop, 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 flop. Cool. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and release that. Say bye-bye strap, say bye-bye ball. Extend your right arm alongside your ear. Start to roll over onto your right side and make your way onto your tummy. Find yourself in Nakrasana. So if you need to turn around because your heads are not towards the top of your space, by all means do that. And then my knee foot people, I'm curious if you tell me how that feels a little bit later on, but that's a side note. Once you're on your tummy, let's take heads up, 7 up. So stack your hands right on top of each other. Widen your knees, widen your feet, and then either let your knees fall in towards each other or out. And then just take a couple of breaths here. And I want you to find your neutral spine. So really bring your awareness today to the crown of your head and imagine that the crown of your head is an extension of your spine, because it is. And then see if you can find the natural curves of your spine. So it feels like the back of your neck can sort of melt a little bit to the floor. Your low back can melt a little bit to the floor. And then your upper thoracic spine might feel like it feels a little bit up towards the floor. And you're just going to take 4 breaths here. 4 calm, steady breaths. And you're just checking in. How can you really fully breathe into your front body? Fully into the abdomen. Notice that doing that widens the ribs and softens the low back. And if you continue to think of the length across the spine, the length of the spine, so from the tail of your pelvis to the crown of your head, you'll find that that allows different parts of the shoulders to soften, the neck to soften. Great. Take one more breath cycle here. At the end of this next exhale, gently inhale. Lift your head, plant your hands alongside your ribs, and make your way back to a wide-legged child's pose. So big toes touch, knees a little bit wider than your hips, and then walk your hands forward. From here, you'll come to the tips of your fingertips, allow the forehead to descend towards the floor, and push your bum back towards your heels, and just take a breath here and just notice how this feels. On your next inhalation, come up to hands and knees. When you're on hands and knees, stack your hands directly underneath your shoulders, your knees directly underneath your hips. Allow your head to melt to the floor. Allow your belly to melt toward the floor. And just allow your sit bones to lift. So sad, non-California cows. And for today, I want you to really feel what it feels like to rotate your pelvis over the tops of your thighs, to feel what it feels like to draw the shoulder blades onto your back body and just to let your head descend. On your next exhale, start to pull your organs away from the floor. Squeeze your front body, drop your head even more, drop your tail even more as you round your spine, cat pose. And then inhale, start to squeeze your back body, lower the belly, lower the chest, lift the head, cow pose. And you've got 4 more of those. And I want you to focus on really squeezing the front body to round in, and then squeezing the back body to extend the spine. And you're just noticing, what does that feel like as you squeeze the back body to find cow, and then as you squeeze the front body to find cat. Great. Got 2 more. Awesome. The next time you inhale to cow, go ahead and pause there. Curl all 10 toes under, and then start to make your way back towards a downward facing dog. In your down dog, you're pressing the L shape of your hands down and forward. You're rotating your pelvis over the top of your thigh bone. There you go, Sandy. So you can send your pubic bone back. And then you just take a moment to pause and breathe here. Great. Gently start to bend your knees and walk your feet towards your hands. When you get to the top of your space, go ahead and separate your feet hip distance apart. Awesome. And just notice what it feels like to have your feet on the floor in this orientation. See if you can pay attention to what's happening in the arches of your feet, the weight in the feet. We'll come back to this in a moment, but for now, you're just seeing what that feels like, looks like. And then from there, let's go ahead and draw your hands onto your shins, reach your spine parallel to the floor, pause. Rotate your pelvis over the tops of your thighs so your belly drops and your heart reaches forward. There we go. Draw one hand to one hip, draw the other hand to the other hip, and then inhale, come up to stand. Cool. Once you're standing, let's go ahead and grab a block. And we're going to put our block in between our upper thighs. You can choose what width you want to take. It depends upon what's happening in your feet. You want to make sure that your knees stay over your feet when you bend your knees and hug your block. So that's totally up to you. Awesome. So you're going to put the block between your inner thighs. You're going to hold on to your hips. You're going to bend your knees. And we're going to stay here for an ungodly amount of time. So as we're here, the first thing we're going to start with is I want you to press into your big toe. I want you to press into your pinky toe. I want you to see if your weight is forward or if it's back, and see if you can bring it into the center so you can feel the heel, the ball of the foot, the pinky toe all root down. And then we're going to focus on our legs. We're going to hug into that block and notice how you can engage around your legs. We're going to bring our attention to our pelvis. I want you to see if you can lightly pull the pelvic floor up, toning in the pelvic floor. And so we're pushing down through our feet, we're hugging in through our legs, we're slightly drawing your pelvic floor up. And then notice if from there you can keep the pelvic floor coming up, if you can lengthen up through your spine. So the spine is long. Some of you will just sit right here, hands on the hips, happy as a clam. This is enough crap going on down here. Some of you might grab opposite elbows and you might hug yourself here and just hang out. You might bend your knees a little bit more because I'm sure we started to come out of it. Some of you might lift your elbows parallel-ish to the floor as you continue to sit in this weird, awkward chair pose. Some of you might decide to cactus your arms. Now, if you cactus your arms from an energetic perspective, keep focusing on the feet. Keep hugging in through the legs. Keep pulling that pelvic floor up. So this is one from Sherry Friedrichsen. She does this to try to calm our prana. And so we're just hugging everything in. I'm also making you work your knees and your legs and your feet. And we're just pausing and we're breathing for 5. Keep squeezing your block for 4. Keep sitting low for 3. Notice the weight in your feet for 2. Next in-breath, lengthen your spine a bit more. And as you exhale, straighten the legs and lower the arms. Take a moment, notice how that feels, and release your block. Cool. Awesome sauce. That wasn't too bad, was it? Well, it probably was, but what are we going to do about it now? Okay, two things that we're going to do. You get to choose your own adventure. I'll show you both. So this is where we're going to need our TheraBand. I'm going to use a typical one, but if you've got this one, you can use that as well. Or if you're using the, what was it called? What are you using, Laura? Some type of rope or fabric, that will work too. And then our second task will be with our envelope or our credit card. So first thing that we're going to do is we are going to grab our strap or fabric or whatever we're using on that. And I want you to put it around your big toe. I might need to move this down. And I'm not going to lie, this is not fun, nor is it easy. So we are going to strap it around our big toe. And then you'll notice that if you pull this big toe back towards your body, these toes probably want to come with you. Mine definitely do. We want to keep them down on the floor, and we're going to do like little bicep curls with our big toe. So you're going to push it down and pull it up and push it down and pull it up. And don't let these ones go. And you do about 5 of these. And sometimes I cheat and just use my other hand because my big toe does not want to work independently. It is like, no way, Jose. I don't want to do that. So I use my other hand to try to keep the toes down. Nice, Lauren. You're doing it standing. Good job. I don't have that much control. I'm like, okay. So after you've done about 10 with the big toe, you're going to release the big toe. And we're going to trap the other 4 toes. And so, Robin, this one should also help you with your plantar fasciitis. And so we want to keep our big toe down, and you're going to lift and lower the other 4 toes. And this one is really hard. I'm like, I can't figure out why I need the assistance of my hand to tell my big toe not to move, but I do. Because we want to isolate the movement just in those other 4 digits of the foot. Okay, we'll do about 3 or 4 more. Great. We'll say this is our last 2. Awesome. And then the last thing that we'll do is you'll wrap your pinky toe, just your pinky toe, because it's the one that doesn't get a lot of attention. And you might need your other hand to help just to keep them from doing this. And the pinky toe is going to do its own little bicep curls. Bicep curl down and up, bicep curl down and up. Okay, do 3 more. Awesome sauce, last one. Okay. Then we'll release that, and I want you to lift all 5 toes, spread the toes, and see if you can put as much of your foot on the floor and see how that feels. Cool. Now stand up and notice what you notice between the sides of your feet. How does one foot feel in comparison to the other? How does that feel up your knee? How does that feel up into your hip? How does that feel in your back? How does that feel up into your shoulders? Just that simple act of paying attention to one foot. What do you notice on that whole side of the body? And then, of course, I can't let you be lopsided, so let's do the other side. And so if you're doing, I'm just switching because I'm just seeing what Erica's feeling with this other one. That's not too bad, Erica. It's easier. It's not, okay. You're doing about 5 of these. And if you can keep it where you don't have to use your hand to tell those other toes to calm down, great. If not, no worries. Okay, after you've done about 5 to 10 of those, you're gonna let go of the big toe and do it with the other 4 toes. And again, try to keep the big toe down. As you lift, ooh, that one's harder though on the side. Hello, foot. Lower, lift, lower. Am I moving too fast for you guys, or are we going at an okay pace? Okay, awesome. All right, let's go ahead and release that. Now you got to do just your pinky toe. And ideally, we're trying to go to fatigue, which isn't always possible. So we'll just aim for 8 to 10. So funny how trying to move the pinky toe by itself seems like such a hard thing. It's like, what are you doing, little pinky toe? All right, I'll do about 2 more. And then let's go ahead and stand up and just see how that feels. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Spread all 5 toes, put them down, and just feel how it feels when you stand up between the sides. Notice if you notice anything now. Do the legs feel more even? Do the hips, the knees, all of that kinetic chain feel a little bit better? All right. Last little thing for our feet, and then we're going to move on. Grab your envelope, credit card, whatever you're using. That last one was just for flexibility, but we need a little bit more strength. So you're going to put it underneath just your big toe. You're going to use your hand and you're going to push the big toe down, and you should be able to do this without bringing any extra compensation. So ideally, you should feel this up into the arch of your foot. If you feel it anywhere else, that means you are overcompensating. And you're just going to try to trap your envelope, your credit card, whatever, under your big toe mound and pull it away. And then you'll release that. And do the other one. And it's just under the toe. It's not under the ball of the foot. It's just under the toe. And you're trying to pull it out. Pull, 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 pull. Great. Release that. Now 4th and 5th toes, because we got to do them too. And this one might be a little harder. But you don't want to be able to pull that out from underneath your toes. Great. Other's foot. 4th and or all other 4 toes. Just pulling, 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 pulling. Great. All right, we're done with our foot stuff. Let's go ahead and stand at the top of our space. You guys have been a willing participants. Let's move on with our practice. So standing at the top of our space, feet hip distance apart. Let's go ahead and inhale, circle, sweep our arms up and overhead. And then exhale, fold forward at our hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. From here, inhale, halfway lift, pull your heart and sternum forward. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, and step back to your downward facing dog. As you're back in your down dog, just notice what that feels like now in your feet. Can you reach your heels back behind you and maybe down towards the floor? And then notice how you can lift the inner edges of your ankles so you can press more on the outer edges of your feet. Nice. Next, exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Great. When your right foot gets between your hands, bring your hands to your blocks. Great. Lift up through your inner left thigh. Reach your heart and sternum forward. Now, just like we did with that strap, I want you to push into the big toe mound of your back foot. Really feel that light up. And then just like we did with the taper underneath our toes, push down into your front big toe mound. See if you can then reach your heart and sternum forward a little bit more and then start to make your hands a little bit lighter. Keep pushing into your big toe mound of the back foot. Keep pushing down into the big toe mound of your front foot. Squeeze those points together and see if you can continue to make your spine lighter until you can bring your spine up to vertical. Keep pushing into your feet. Keep pushing into your feet. Keep pushing into your feet. Nice work. Next exhale, hands come back down to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Great, let's try the other side. Step your left foot between your hands. hands to blocks. First thing, lift up through your inner right thigh. Press back through your right big toe mound. Push into your left big toe mound. Start to lift your spine parallel to the floor, making your stomach and belly light. Keep pushing into your feet. Hug your feet towards each other as you continue to make your spine light. Bring your spine all the way up to vertical as you hug your feet together. Nice. Fantastic. Go ahead and bring your hands back down to the floor. Downward facing dog. We're just focusing on the legs, seeing how that feels. Next in breath, go ahead and come forward into plank pose. Again, in plank, push back through your big toe mounds. Press into your pinky toe mounds. Lift up through your inner thighs. Yep, lengthen your tailbone back. Reach your sternum forward. Push into your hands. Yeah. Now extend your crown out of your spine. Yep. Next in breath, shift your weight forward and lower all the way down to the floor. Great. When you find yourself on your mat, extend the tops of your toes to the mat. Now take a moment here, spread wide through your feet. Push down into your pinky toes and your big toes. Push your hands down. Pull your hands back isometrically as you reach your heart forward. Draw your shoulders up to your ears and your shoulders on your back body, and then see if you can lift your chest a little higher. Yeah. Next exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, come up through hands and knees, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Nice work. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Great. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step your left foot to meet your right. Great. Grab one of your blocks and slide it between your shin bones. Okay. Now that we're here, I want you to lift all 10 toes off the floor. Notice that you can push into your big toe mound and your pinky toe mound evenly. Spread wide through your toes and put your toes back down. Now root into your heel and the ball of your foot evenly. Draw your hands onto your shins. Push your fingertips into your shin bones. Push your shins into your fingertips. Yep. Squeeze your block. Now keep squeezing your block. Rotate your pelvis over the tops of your thighs and see if you can lengthen your crown out of your head or out of your spine even more. Great. Next in breath, bring your hands to your hips. Great. Keep rotating your pelvis over your thighs. Squeeze your block. Push into your feet. Bend your knees. And then bring your spine to sit for chair pose. Okay, now we're here again. Now I want you to press into your big toe mounds this time. We've got the block a little lower, so notice how that changes what's happening in your feet. Notice what's changing in your knees. Notice what's changing in your hips. Some of you will just keep our hands here. We'll push into the feet. We'll squeeze into our legs. We'll pull our pubic or pelvic floor up. We'll lengthen out through our spine and maybe lift our head. Some of us will stay here. Some of us will bring our hands to our shoulders, maybe opposite arm on top. Some of you will lift your elbows in line with or parallel to the floor in line with your shoulders. And some of you will cactus your elbows out. But again, we're focusing on the feet. We're hugging in through the legs. We're drawing our pelvic floor up. We're lengthening out through our spine. And we'll breathe here for 3. We'll breathe here for 2. We'll breathe here for 1. Inhale, go ahead and stand up, look up, reach up. And then exhale, open the arms out, allow them to come down. Cool. Go ahead and remove that block. Make sure both blocks are towards the top of your space. And then let's move on. All right. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward at your hips. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands on your blocks or the floor, step your right leg long and back. Now with your right leg back, spin your right foot to the floor. Really push your right pinky toe down. Then from here, you're going to open up to warrior two. For the time being, let's bring our hands to our hips. I want you to see if you need to wiggle walk your feet a little wider apart, front to back or right to left. And then with your hands on your hips, you're going to think of steering your right outer hip towards the upper corner of your mat. So the right upper corner. Notice that that allows your tailbone, your pelvis to remain pretty neutral. And you're going to keep that. And then against that, rotate your ribs to the left. Well, I guess back against that. So your shoulders are now framing the long edge of your mat. And then from there, open out the arms and then take your gaze over the front middle finger. So you'll notice that there are a couple of rotations going on today. Our right hip is going to the upper right corner, but our left shoulder is countering that and coming towards the upper right corner. And then our arms are going out, and then we're looking over our right middle finger. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing how that feels. When you're ready, go ahead and lower your front forearm to the top of your front thigh, and then extend the opposite arm alongside your ears. From here, see if you can continue to press down into the pinky toe edge of your back foot. Lift up through the left side ribs and rotate the left ribs under, the right ribs on top. And you just pause and you breathe. Next in-breath, return to warrior two. As you exhale, straighten your front leg, that's your left leg, and then reach out forward through your left arm, lower your left hand to the block, the shin, the floor, and bring your right hand to your right hip. Right hand to right hip. From here, I want you to check in with your feet again. If you need to spin your right heel back, go ahead and do that. That will allow your front right hip to come forward to the top right corner of your space. Then you can press your left big toe mound down like you did with that piece of paper. Push down into your left hand, lengthen the left side body, and roll your left ribs under. From here, maybe you reach the right arm back up towards the sky. Check in with your left ear, left neck. Is it parallel to the floor? Yep. And then maybe your gaze is forward, or maybe your gaze is towards your top hand. Nice work. On your next in-breath, go ahead and look towards the floor, bend your front knee, bring your hands to the floor or block, square your pelvis, and step yourself back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to pause and take a moment to breathe. Just notice the difference between your sides. Next in-breath, gaze to the top of your space, and as you exhale, bend your knees and walk to the top of your space. Okay, from here, inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees, hands on block, step your left foot long and back. Spin your left foot to the floor for warrior two. Pause here, really press into your pinky toe. Then when you're ready, you'll bring your spine up to vertical. Bring your hands onto your hips. Great. Notice if you need to lengthen or widen your feet front to back, right to left. And then you're going to press onto the knife edge of your back foot, that's your left foot. Slightly roll your pelvis so that your left hip is going to come to the upper left corner of your mat. And notice that that creates space in your pelvis. Keep that, continue to bend into your right knee, and then roll your right shoulder to the left so it's more parallel to the long edge of your mat. From there, open the arms out into a T shape, and then turn your gaze over the front middle finger. And you just take a couple of breaths here. You're still pushing out through the feet. You're still hugging them in. There's a slight rotation in the spine, but you've got nice length through the vertebra. Great. On your next in-breath, your front forearm. So that's your right forearm is going to come to your right thigh, and then you're going to extend the opposite arm alongside your ears. Again, push into the pinky toe edge of your back foot. Really feel that whole leg come on fire. Then lift the right low ribs, draw them forward, draw the left ribs on top. And you just pause and you breathe here. Next in-breath, return to warrior two. As you exhale, straighten your front leg long. Okay, go ahead and shift your pelvis back, reach forward through your right arm and lower the right hand to the block, the shin, the floor. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Pause. Notice if you need to spin your left heel out a bit. Press into the left side of your foot. Then push into the right big toe mount. Push down into the right hand. Lengthen the right ribs. Wrap the right ribs under and forward. Left ribs on top. And then you might reach your top arm. That's your left arm up. And then check in with the right side of your neck. Is it parallel to the floor? Great. And then you just pause and you breathe. Fantastic. Next in-breath, gaze comes to the floor, hands come to the blocks or the floor. Square your pelvis to the floor and step yourself back, downward facing dog. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and inhale and come forward into plank. Slower than you want to, lower all the way through chaturanga. Extend the tops of your feet onto the floor. And before you go anywhere today, really think of spreading your toes and then pressing your pinky toenails down and your big toenails down. Strengthen through the legs. Push down through your hands. Pull the hands back, pull the heart forward. Notice how the head can lift when you do that. Then draw the shoulders towards your ears. Draw the shoulders onto your back body. Make your legs a little bit more active. Great. And you pause and you breathe. And then lower all the way down. Inhale, come up through hands and knees. And exhale back to child's pose. Take a moment to pause and take a moment to breathe. Great. All right. 3 breaths. When you're ready, you'll inhale and you'll come up to sit. And then you'll swing your legs around in front of you. Some of you might want to sit up on your blanket. Some of you will keep your pelvis on the floor. It's totally up to you. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and bend our right knee. So with your right heel, we're going to cross our right foot to the outer left part of our body. And I want you to flex through your left foot. So we did this last week, and we're going to try to see if we can keep that. So you're going to keep this whole left leg straight. You're going to find energy through your left leg. Wrap your left arm around your right knee. Bring your right hand maybe to the floor or the block outside of your right hip. Now you're going to reach out through your right heel and let that start to your left heel, and let that start to twist you to the right. So left heel is going to reach forward. The pelvis is going to start to rotate to the right. You're going to push your right big toe mound into the floor outside of your left hip. You're going to push your right knee into your left arm and pull your left arm into your right thigh. Then from there, start to lengthen up through the vertebra and scoop the belly on your right side. And then see if you can wrap more of your organs towards the right as you allow the shoulders to slide down the back, and you lift up through the crown of your head. So the head is an extension of the spine, and you're finding that length, you're finding that rotation. Nice. On your next in-breath, you'll gently unwind. You'll come back through center. You'll uncross the leg and send the right leg forward. Then we'll trial that on the other side. So you'll bend the left knee with the left foot in line with the left heel. Really engage that right leg. Cross the left leg over to the outside edge of your right thigh. Right leg is super active. Right arm reaches around your left knee. Left hand comes to the outside edge of your left hip, maybe to the floor or the block. Now it starts from our legs. So our right hip is going to go forward, and then we're going to start to rotate to the left through the activation in that right leg. And then you'll start to push your left knee into the crook of your right arm. You'll pull your right arm into your left knee. Then you'll start to scoop the belly on the left side, wrap more of your organs towards the inner left thigh, lengthen up through your spine. Notice if you can allow the shoulders to descend, and just keep reaching through that right heel as you push your left big toe mound to the floor, and you pause and you breathe. Nice work. Next in-breath, gently unwind. Go ahead and reach both legs long in front of you. Take a moment to circle the ankles if that feels good, or point and flex the feet if that feels good. Then we'll bend our knees once again. We'll open and splay our feet. So a lot of times people with knee pain, at least according to Mary Richards, she's a physical therapist and a yoga therapist, she says that they have pain on the inner edge related to their meniscus. So we're going to pause here for a couple breaths and just notice if you're having that pain. That's why we did vastus medialis things in the beginning of the class to help with that, but we'll see. Awesome. Let's go ahead and close our legs like a book. And then you're going to make your way onto your backs. When you find yourself onto your back, have your head towards the top of your space. Make sure you have your blocks and your strap somewhere nearby. And if you tend to get cold, this would be a fantastic time to start to cover your body. Oh, Alexia's back. Wow, you are big, my dear. Look at how tall you are now. Oh, Robin, she's gotten so big. Okay, and when you find yourself on your back, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bend our knees. We're going to plant our feet on the floor. Open your feet wider than your hips. Allow your knees to knock in. And then you're going to wrap your arms around your torso. And you just take a couple of breaths here. Notice where you can allow the weight of your feet to just soften into the floor. Notice how you can allow the weight of your knees to just rest into each other. Notice how you can allow the weight of the thigh bones to drop into the hips, and see if that allows space to be created on your back. Notice if you can allow the weight of your arms to fall into each other, fall into your chest, and if that creates width across the upper thoracic spine between your shoulder blades. Notice if you can allow the weight of your skull to first lengthen through the spine and then drop into the floor. And then notice if you can allow the weight of the jaw to just soften to ease. Our foundation is the starting point of all things, but sometimes we have to really be able to rest into it. We have to soften into it. We have to, I guess trust is another way of saying it. We have to give ourselves over to it. So as you're here for the next few breaths, continue to notice where you can continue to let go. And as you continue to drop into that, notice what opens up. Notice what becomes easier. On your next in-breath, notice which arm is on top. And then when you're ready, you'll exhale and switch the arm. Again, allow the body to settle. Allow yourself to just soften. A slightly esoteric way of thinking about it is our foundation is the essence of who we are. It's that spark that each and every one of us is born with. And some of us maintain throughout, and some of us try to regain at certain points in our life or reconnect with. But the more that we soften into that, the more that we trust in that, the easier, the more stable, the more solid things become. So as you're here for these last few moments, these last few breaths, I invite you to notice what final shape or shapes might feel great to you. Personally, it might feel really nice to do a thigh stretch with a strap, but that's me. You might choose to do something else. You might choose to do a few little windshield wipers of the hips. Might feel nice to do figure fours or happy babies. But you just take a couple of moments. What is that essence, that spark of you telling you that you need? And I do encourage you to slowly explore what's going on, to give yourself permission to fully relish in being in your body. If you've done something asymmetrical, please visit the other side. And then when you are complete, you're going to come to a symmetrical pose. And we're just going to be there for a couple of breath cycles before we do some breath work. So if it's legs up the wall, great. If it's Supta Baddha Konasana, awesome. If it's Shavasana, fantastic. Whatever you're doing, just find a symmetrical pose. You're going to be there for about a minute or so. Just let yourself settle. And then if you are in Supta Baddha Konasana, bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs. Close your knees together like a book. Those of you that are at the wall or legs up the wall, start to bend your knees. And then you're going to slowly make your way to your side. All of us will pause for a couple of breaths on our side. And then from here, you'll make your way up to seat or to sit in a seated posture. Okay, when you are vertical, I do encourage you to sit on something, whether it's a block or a blanket, pillow, chair, something. And then you'll start by moving any flesh out of the way so that you really have a firm foundation, so that it feels that both of your sit bones have a nice, even base. and that your legs are just sort of these rivers of energy that run down to your feet. Your feet are on the floor, they're comfortable. The knees are on the floor, they're comfortable. And then you'll turn both palms to face up. On your left hand, go ahead and tuck your index finger into the base of your thumb and extend out through the other 3 fingers. You can either allow the palm to face up towards the sky or turn the palm to face the ground. On your other hand, you're going to tuck your middle and index finger, so your right hand, into the base of your thumb and extend out through your pinky finger and your ring finger, as well as your thumb. And then you'll bring your pinky finger and your ring finger over to your left nostril and your thumb to your right nostril. Your right elbow, you might need to tuck so it feels like it's just sort of, I don't know, I rest mine on my chest by moving it over a little bit, and it just helps. And then you'll sit as tall as you can through your spine. Go ahead and exhale all the breath through your mouth. And then you'll gently close your right nostril and inhale through your left. At the top of your inhalation, go ahead and close your left nostril, and then you'll exhale out through your right. When you need to, you'll draw the breath back in through your right. The top of your inhalation, you'll close your right nostril and exhale out through your left. That counts as 1 round of Nadi Shodhana. You'll go ahead and continue drawing the breath in through the left when you need to. Top of your inhalation, you'll close your left nostril and exhale out through your right. When you need to, you'll draw the breath in through the right, close the right, and then you'll exhale out through the left. That counts as 2 rounds. You'll take 7 more rounds on your own. The invitation is to start to lengthen the inhalation and lengthen the exhalation. And you just notice what you notice as you do this. Can the spine stay tall and easy? Can the muscles that are not needed just soften and relax? Can the breath become almost silent and almost effortless? And there is no rush, but after your 9th exhalation through your left nostril, you'll lower your right hand. Whether you're still working on Nadi Shodhana or you've already released it, your awareness stays on the breath. Can the breath be effortless but quiet? Full and easy. Some of you will continue to sit right here for a few more moments. Some of you may choose to take your Shavasana now, and we'll be here for a couple of moments, about 4. So you choose what works best for you. Those that are seated, the task is to remain tall through the vertebra, but soft in the muscles. All of us, the task is always to come back to the breath. Whether you're seated or whether you're supine, I'll leave you alone with you for a couple of minutes and I'll be right back to let you know when to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. Notice what you notice. If you're on your back, please just stay there. Those that are seated, bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Just take a moment, really feel the weight of your hands into one another. Really feel the connection of your thumbs to your sternum to your thumbs. Return to that sense of foundation through your pelvis and extension through the crown of your head. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. And take a big breath in through your nose. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Om. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light, the breath, the awareness within me honors and salutes the light, the breath, the awareness and foundation within you. Namaste.